In this video, I'm going to break down the 2 mindset shifts I had to have in order to make millions of dollars online. And without these 2 mindset shifts, I wouldn't have made that kind of money. I would not be where I'm at today. And everything kind of evolved after those mindset shifts. And they took me years of self-development to understand and comprehend and apply them. And so hopefully, I could save you years or months by just watching this video all the way through and learning from it and actually taking away from what I'm about to tell you, right? And so oftentimes us as entrepreneurs, we are always trying to figure things out. We are working hard every day. We wake up, we grind, right? And what happens is when we get big wins, we feel like we did it all ourselves. And that was one of my biggest problems that I ran into, right? And so lesson number 1, I'm just going to tell you a little story about it, right? I'm going to give you a story of the ups and downs. So this was a couple years ago. I was in the real estate space before I even entered into the online space. And I'm glad I learned this lesson then because it's helped me make millions of dollars online. And so the lesson was this. So I was a real estate agent at the time. I was flipping some homes and I was wholesaling some homes. And I was making money in real estate. I was like 21 years old. I was making almost $1 million a year. It's crazy. Right? And so I think I made 750 my highest year. Not that crazy. But regardless, that's not the point. My point is this. When I was building up that business and I was scaling up, I had this little peak of momentum where everything just took off. It feels like all the nurturing of all the leads, and you guys might feel like this, all the nurturing of all your leads just like comes together and like it's just deal after deal after deal, high ticket sale after high ticket sale after high ticket sale. And they just all come together, right? And everything just like feels like it's perfect. Everything feels like it's in harmony. Everything feels like, man, you feel like the man, right? Or the woman, whoever's watching this. But like you feel like you're on top of the world, right? Because you feel like your business is just like damn, nothing can bring me down. And so I was in real estate at this time. And I remember it was my first 40K contracted. So I had an upcoming $40,000 a month. And I was 21 years old. And the month before that, I made whatever it was and I bought my parents a vacation. So I was like feeling great. I'm like, man, I'm making all this money. I'm doing all these things. And then I had 40K contracted. But something shifted in my brain. Something shifted in my mind that helped me, that made me lose that $40,000. And the thing that shifted in my brain was this. I went from thinking, man, this is like, because I used to give a lot of thanks to God at the time. And I was like, man, God, thank you for everything. I was very grateful. You don't, like whoever you are, whatever you believe in, right? You have to have gratitude for the things that you have, right? Sometimes we get very complacent and we get very used to the amazing lifestyle, right? We get very used to the things we have, right? Like I live in a penthouse in Costa Rica. I just had family come in town this week and they're like, whoa. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like used to it, right? And so it's like things like that we get complacent with and we get a little bit more grateful once you get used to certain payouts, certain things in life, right? And that's just human nature, right? And so back to the story. All right, I was grinding and I had 40K month contracted and things were going really, really great. Like everything was just coming together. And I remember thinking to myself for the first time in business, like I did this. That was the shift. That was the negative shift I had to overcome. I literally told myself, man, I did this. I'm the man, man. I just put all these deals together, all my networking, all my hard work, all the calls I took, all that hard work. I did this myself, right? And so what I did there was I literally gave no thanks to God for the amazing opportunities He presented to me in my life. I gave no thanks to any mentors. I was very arrogant. I did it myself. And I'm like young. I'm like 21. And obviously like that's the most money I've ever made, 40K that month. Like it was coming up and like I could see the close dates coming up. And it sounded really nice. And so here's the crazy thing though. As soon as I started thinking like this, deal after deal after deal after deal started falling apart. I went from like a 40K month to like a $3,000 month. And it hit me. And I'm so glad it hit me then versus now when we're making 100K a month, right? And so what hit me was, if I'm not grateful for what I have now, how can I be more grateful for what God has in store for me? And this was a massive lesson learned because the thing is, we feel like we do things ourselves, and sometimes we're ungrateful. Sometimes you'll probably hit a record month, and you'll hit like crazy numbers, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100K a month, 200K a month, whatever it is. There's levels of people watching my stuff, right? And so, but the thing is, like, you'll do a little less than the month before, and you'll be ungrateful and be like, man, my business sucks. I'm not doing good. Like, we're doing super well. We're doing better than we used to do, right? I don't even compare myself to people anymore. I compare myself to how I used to do a year ago, right? Because if you compare yourself to people, it's like, dude, like it's a never-ending comparison game. And so I literally compare myself to what life was a year ago. And so you should start taking a piece of that mentality. And like sometimes when you beat yourself up and act ungrateful for what you have, think about a year ago. How much better is life right now? And if you're an entrepreneur working hard every day, it's probably better. You're probably eating better, dressing better, better views, better life, better whatever the hell it is, right? And so, all right, first lesson was actually being grateful for what I had. And that was something that took me a while to learn, and it all hit me that month. Like, dude, this is not all for me. Why am I being so ungrateful? This is like, I didn't just earn this. God gave me those opportunities, and it was just and having like faith like having faith in my life that like, hey, it's like, I don't know, having faith in like God or whatever you believe in, right? I believe in God, Jesus Christ, and having faith in that like brings peace in business because you don't have to carry all that weight on your shoulders, right? It makes life a little bit easier, right? And so that was the biggest mistake I made, which was thinking I did it myself. I was the man. I was not the man, right? And so the second biggest mistake and biggest lesson I've ever learned in business that now helps me make millions and millions of dollars was not giving, right? So my uncle told me something years ago, and it was, Boris, if you can't give a dime out of a dollar, you won't give a million out of 10 million, right? And so a lot of us will tell ourselves, man, when I make millions or hundreds of thousands, that's when I can go and contribute to the world. That's when I can go help out my church. That's when I can help out these people, the homeless, this. It's BS, right? And so one thing that's blown my mind, here's the crazy thing, guys. For the last like couple years, 2-3 years, I've been giving away 10% as soon as it comes in. And you don't have to do 10% of rev. You do 10% of profits, right? Whatever your take home is, do 10% of that. So a lot of people think like, oh, I got to do 10% of revenue. My business is 50% rev. That's an extra 10% expense. No, it's not like that, right? It's 10% of your profit. And so, yeah, just to clarify, because I was very confused about this as well. Or you could do 10% of rev, but I just think that's really bold. But the more bold you are, the more you're giving back, which is crazy. It's crazy how this world we live in. And so a lot of people will think, man, I can't do this. I can't give. I can't give it $10 here and there. I can't do this and this and this. One of the biggest things that opened up my eyes was as soon as I started giving, I literally started having so much abundance flow into my life. And you have to remember, you have to give from that abundance and keep giving and giving and giving. And that's okay, right? Because that brings me fulfillment. And that will bring you fulfillment as well, because there's no point in just bringing in more cash. Because at a certain point, it's not about the money anymore. I know it's like crazy to hear or even say. But guys, the truth is, when you give, you kind of just like release it back into the world. And it flows out of you. And you are now open to receiving more. It's the weirdest thing. But when you have like you're pinching onto your pennies, you are losing out on so much money that like God's trying to give you. Like your hands closed, right? You're pinching onto your pennies, but God's trying to give you dollars and $10 and hundreds of dollars and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And you don't see these opportunities because you're so crammed up. You won't invest in yourself. You won't put the money into you won't go and buy the homeless man a sandwich. Like, it's just the little things, guys. And like, these are the two main things. Like, I wish I can give you some tactical things. Like, man, I started running ads and things took off. Yeah, I mean, they did, right? Ads crushed it for my business, but like, or crush it still for my business. And if you're not doing ads, what are you doing as a coach or agency owner? But my point is, like, there's sometimes the biggest lessons learned aren't like the crazy like tactical things. They're like life lessons that you experience through negative experiences, like losing 40K in a month, or like not giving for a month and seeing your revenue drop as well, right? I've had that happen, and now I just give because I'm like, dude, it's not even mine, right? Like in my mind, like 10% just like, it's not even mine. It's just not, right? And so it's like, it's God's money. It's however he wants to use it, whoever he wants me to give it to. And then out of nowhere, like all these little opportunities present themselves for me to go wire money there, send it there, send it there, send it to this missionary, send whatever. That's not the point. The point is this though. If you are more grateful for what you have, God will give you more to be grateful for. And if you give more, you will be given more. These are the two main takeaways for this video. And if you apply these things, I promise you, and even though they're hard to apply, because as humans, we just want to take. And as humans, we just want to we always want to find something that's better. We always crave something that's better. And that makes us feel like, man, ungrateful for what we have. And it's like, shift your mindset, guys. Shift it. Change it up. Watch this video. Apply this stuff. And I hope it helps. But keep crushing you guys. Always watching you guys from the other side, and always here to help. Like, I'm always here to over deliver. I'm going to try to give you guys all my life lessons. That way you can save years of pain. So let's keep crushing it.